Hello, everyone. This is Pretty Lady from the Kitchen series. I think I'm going to put this with the Pretty Lady series. I do have a sequence that I was following, so I organized some of those discussions. But today, I'm probably going to talk about holidays and romance. Why? Because they're kind of interchangeable. If you think about holidays, if you're in a romantic relationship or you're alone, maybe you're thinking about getting into a relationship, or maybe you're thinking about your significant other. It's one of the two. Or just grabbing somebody so you can have a holiday of your own or something similar. But just some mechanics, some dynamics of what happens in those relationships, and also some scenarios, things that have already happened to people, things are happening to people, and from a psychological standpoint as well, and how does it impact them going forward. So today I'm not going to be much that formal and using formal terminologies from clinician aspect or anything. It's probably just going to be a mix. So what I wanted to firstly discuss is, the holidays do start to make people think about certain things. It makes them think about certain things because when during your childhood, most likely you have had some type of endearment attached to the holidays. Parents were building some type of sentiments around it, or even in school, if you didn't celebrate Valentine's Day at home or holidays at home, there were some hints of it in the classroom and some required or requested participation. So there are some feelings and emotions around holidays. However, we do a lot of practices that we really don't understand, we have not researched, and we really haven't discovered whether they are actually for us, or how to apply them according to us as each person as their individual selves, you know. So that includes everything. Christmas, on any holiday, people can find some type of way to have it, to make it a cuffing season, they say. But, cuffing can go wrong sometimes. And in the end, if both people haven't agreed on what occurred in the exchange, then it could send someone spiraling in some negative feelings, which is not what we want to do. So I don't say don't coddle anything. I don't say that don't coddle anything unnecessary, or coddle anything unnecessarily, and do not be pretentious about the accolades that you give someone, the praise, the support, the um, compliments that you give them. If they're fake, just don't do it. Because each time you tell a lie to a person, what's supposed to happen in concept if someone lied to you? So um, there's a way to make people feel good about themselves without um, lying. And here's one way: find something good about them, have a discussion that leads into something good. Or if you see something good, even if it's a necklace, a chain, an earring, or if it's a post or some word that they said or way they say their words or something, there's something about each individual that is positive. Yeah. So people going out to show you they can get someone else or they can do it better than you. You might catch another body, but I'm still a hottie. Meaning that it doesn't matter if you go here or there, the grass still needs to be mowed either way. So you're not winning or losing when you have one person has decided they don't want to be in a relationship. And please, please, please be cognizant of this, because you might spend your time making this person a godhead in your life. I was discussing how people um, they start to build a bear, they build a monster, they build a figment of their imagination, and they project all of their behaviors towards that. It's really cheating you out of time for yourself and to build and cultivate something that you actually want. Here's an example. Each morning you get up, you wake up to do something so you can incite a feeling from this person, and usually it's a negative feeling. so that you can get a positive feeling back. How is that supposed to work? And if it does work one time, two times, three times, what? Strike out. There are many times where you say strike. Um, um, there are many things that we can refer to keep us on a better track of how to communicate and talk and learn with each other. And sometimes there is a bit of a struggle, no matter how beautiful, nice that you are, how handsome, how many women and men that you can have at your beck and call. But the point is, how are you really going to treat those people? Think about those people. Care for the feelings as you would want yourself cared for in each instant, because you do not want to continue to build something inside of someone that's hateful so they can go out and not be good in the world. And you really don't want them, but you don't care if anyone in the world wants them, because they're having this internal struggle to get over things that a person has done to them when they really didn't mean to be a permanent part of their lives, or a part of their lives in the way that they had intended. So thorough conversations take both people off the hook in those instances, or if it's several people in a friendship, thorough conversations, being true and consistent. Go ahead, if you have something that you said and you really didn't mean it, express it to them somehow. If it's really too harsh or they don't want to talk and chat, find a way to do it through email, through a friend, through a family member if you can. Um, and yes, respect the boundaries. So if someone says, well, they don't want you to talk to them anymore, don't send any messages or speak to their friends or family, you have to go to God with that one, because it's not worth it to get into somebody's life like that. But keep being yourself. And if that person is supposed to come back in some way, they'll return. But at the same time, still just use discernment and vigilance in that way. I've seen that that is the best key, the best key, the key to having a best practice than to having a good relationship. But what I was thinking about is, we really have celebrated so many holidays, but and like I said in the beginning, we don't inspect what we expect on the holidays. We go through rituals and routines, and just because it's fun, it looks fun, it's appealing, it's what is a traditionally been has been happening, and anytime you put money into a situation, for instance, if you put money in your bank, that money is going to grow and it's going to become something. It doesn't matter which bank account, however the money gets in there. If you put money in there from PayPal, Cash App, a friend is sending you money, a bank transfer, a wire transfer, e-check, a check, um, a deposit. Either way, the money is all of those segues are being used to put that money in the bank. And it's sort of, to me, what it seems like when we follow these routine rituals that take place during the holidays. Somebody's bank is getting full of all of our contributions to their ritual when we inadvertently are not really doing that. We're just trying to celebrate and be show loving practices and behaviors, things that are perceived as loving and practices of fun, to edify the happiness of ourselves or our family members and satisfy our well-being mentally that way. But there are some deeper rabbit holes that you can go into with these sort of things. For instance, Christmas, the celebration of Jesus Christ, nobody really knows or really has determined exactly, pinpoint exactly if this is the day that Jesus Christ was born. And they go through all of these functions to commemorate Jesus Christ. But at the same time, on the other spectrum of it, this giving presents and going broke and killing yourself throughout the year to get some children who probably had some bad behaviors during the year, and you got them everything they wanted, and they act like you're not a person. They just want you to have all of these things in front of them, and they have not done anything that they were supposed to do throughout the year. But you don't want them to want other children to pick at them at school. You don't want them to feel bad about a holiday that they have not even researched about. And the only reason why they believe they want the toys and all is because someone has told them that's what's supposed to happen. But that has nothing to do with Jesus Christ on that aspect. People try to blend those two together, it seems. Easter is about the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Is not. Easter is about what's the name of this god? There is a goddess that she is a fertility goddess, I believe, and her eggs, her giant egg, her and her son, or either her son, lives in this giant egg that's supposed to send onto the earth, and it hatches, and this is a fertility god thing that they're serving. So if you think about it, some of the people who celebrate the resurrection, they don't even question, why am I getting eggs? How is eggs associated with, Easter? And it's not just people who are in church and serving Jesus Christ, or what. It's everybody. Not many people know why. And even if they don't serve God, they go to work to almost kill themselves and feel like they have done their basic job by doing this in order to get some gifts. And they start teaching people how to separate their emotions from reality and become superficial to some degree. Not everybody, most of the people I know haven't gone to the extent where their hearts are not pliable and they feel love or anything like that. But there's a great chance that there's some people who have gone to that degree. Um, and also, let's talk about a scenario that could happen in a relationship. So let's say you are with a person that you don't celebrate holidays, but you have a family and a gargantuan amount of family that feels like you have slighted them if you do not show up at even one of their holiday events. Sometimes change is gonna come. So if you get involved with somebody else, there's some other set of circumstances, rules, and regulations, and all that sort of stuff that you have to make meet in the middle somehow. It doesn't mean that you don't go to your celebrations, but sometimes you're going to be influenced by not doing the same things over like you used to. And you'll start to see that, many people felt this way and they want to have a more of a heartfelt celebration or a situation and not just go through the motions because it's a holiday. Holidays are still fun, and even though I know what the holidays are about, both ends of the spectrum, I still prefer to be with my loved ones on the holidays and not necessarily celebrating the actual holidays. And I prefer to, if I have a significant other, I prefer to be with my significant other on the holidays. Sometimes when you're getting into a relationship, a telltale sign of that you're not going to go anywhere is that every holiday they ghost you and they show up after the holiday. And it means maybe they're spending time, they're divvying up their time with someone else, unless they have lots of work to do and they have made a vow that they're going to actually always let you know when they are working and the work doesn't involve a spin-off into a date. And so if they can get up and leave out of situations where you and that person is concerned alone, they could make some concessions for other situations as well. And that's when their job does not require them, in instances where their job does not require them to be there. Um, so how can I say this? There is still a difference between dating and courting. Dating is you haven't made up your mind. You want to try different people. And usually dating is perpetual because you try out so many different people, you never give yourself a chance to know one person. So if you're just going to consistently become a dater, that's what it seems like. I don't like dating, but I do know that people have to have a chance to know each other, and it doesn't have to be. I don't have to feel. I don't have to be made to feel whole by going out and say, okay, well, I had enough right now, so we know we're taking a slow progression. So let me go and grab two, three, four, five people and talk to them and mix it up, and then you come back to the person and you're not even the same person anymore. You've gotten all of these ideologies that has nothing to do with the person. Your original conversation has deviated and you just on a different playing field. So that's what I think dating does. It's not that dating is hard. It's not that dating you don't find the right person. It's just that people love to explore their options so much that they cannot make a final decision. They cannot make a final vow. They cannot um, they cannot interact with someone properly. So if we kid ourselves about going into a person's body does not change us in some way, you're totally aloof and weirded out completely because it is a change. Men realize, women realize. I remember the song that one of my family members told me about, Missy Elliott. She said, "Don't fail me now." She has to turn this out, so he don't want anybody else. But that's not always enough. And also the Dematized song or the BD energy, all of those songs like that, they refer to situations where people are having a spin-off in the haze of what comes after the bedroom action and all of the experience. There is a connection that happens, and there is. How could it not be when you're plugging in? You plug in, you're going to feel that electricity in some sort of way. You can do, people do different things with it. Some people get the charge to go and find more and more and different because they don't want what's attached to the next day or the next morning. um, some people, they stay with it and they try to make it work because they don't want to go anywhere else. They realize that, yeah, you can find for your mode of your mode of being, well-being, or your mindset at each given time. You can find somebody to satisfy that. And each time that you try somebody, it's Russian roulette, or not Russian roulette, but it's a chance. It's a chance because you don't always get what you want because the package looks like a certain way. And I know that women, they say, are emotional creatures. Men have emotions too, but we just discover, we explore and outwardly express our actions differently. And even so, each woman is different. Each man is different. So going in with a generalization that, well, they know what is protocol in these types of situations. No, they really don't. We really don't. Each person is different. So, which leads me to what I originally said. If a person goes and grabs someone else to try to make you jealous, they've made you their idol, which they don't realize. First, you need to get over that. There are emotions attached. Listen to this though. Take consideration on this. Okay, if we're not impacted by each other, why do we write these messages? For instance, like, they didn't want you, then the next person does. You're still beautiful no matter what anybody says. One man's trash is another's treasure. I don't even, that when they talk about trash and treasure, I equate that to some old furniture and they make it new furniture. I never equate that to a person, but people use it as reference to people. And a lady or man has their business. It's their business if they want to use it that way. It's all. I don't. There's a, but there is something that happens when you cross paths, and often we don't feel like we have enough time, or there isn't time, or there is some trickster ability trickster maneuvering that's going to take place because people um, kind of do trick situations, manipulate situations in order to protect themselves, protect their heart, to make sure they don't look like a fool. They want to make sure they don't look like a fool. And it's so funny how money contends with that. It's like money is in competition with that because if someone took a gamble and they say, "Oh well, yeah, you did your best. If that much money was on the table, I would have took a gamble too." But you feel nothing about it. You don't feel slighted that much by it unless a scammer took your money. But and even in that instance, if it was you making a good effort to do something that would elevate you in life, it's like, oh, that's normal. But if you do that in a relationship, people tell you you're foolish, you shouldn't, you couldn't, you wouldn't, you didn't, you shouldn't, all of that. But tell you the truth, different personalities call for whole different dynamics of things. And if you treat everyone the same as far as not meeting them where they are in certain situations, then it's impossible to get to know the person, to understand the person, and also for you all to make a plan of action of how you will concede. Um, and yes, it really is. So if you're just doing one thing with a whole person and you expect half of the energy to remain the same, it will not. A woman immediately starts to act like she's a wife as soon as she has gone to bed. A man starts to realize that this woman is going to expect something from him when nobody has told him this, but this is something that he immediately feels when he is going to bed with her. Why? It's nature. It's natural. Lean into it. Lean into it. Not many people are not really walking around trying to make fools of each other all of the time. Hurt people hurt people. People who haven't had a conversation and inspected what they're expecting won't ever get what they expected. And if they actually go into it manipulating the situation, they're only going to get the byproduct of their manipulation. It's impossible to go in something doing wrong, even if it's a white lie. Somebody told you it was protocol to tell these lies or act manipulatively or whatever, if manipulatively is a word. Um, you can only draw the proceeds from that. And here's the kicker, because time and chance does happen to everyone, and not everybody deserves to be treated how they was treated. But if you're not realistic with that either, then you're going to still continue to heap coals on yourself and become what I think it seems like a seared conscience, because you feel like you have a right to do other people wrong. This is not true. If you have a right to do other people wrong, then the guilt you feel on and the things that you have, way people treat you, if it's bad or not, nobody might not want you to feel this way. Not anyone that you love wants you to feel this way, but they can't protect you from all of the hidden behaviors, um, the hidden executions that you did based on your internal decision making skills. They cannot shield you from that. They can love you to death, but if you lay there and you say, "Oh yes, they did me wrong," and don't say, "I manipulated the person to a fault and this is what happened, so this is my part, this is that person's part," if that really happened, then you're just heaping coals upon yourself and you have a seared conscience. A seared conscience, to me, it would be horrible. You know why? Because you don't experience the natural emotions, the things that make you feel the highest high and the lowest low, and the difference in between. You stop feeling it, and you're ruled by things that don't really even matter in life, and you're not really present. You become a different person. To me, um, you don't feel anything. You can just do people any type of way and get up and wipe your mouth and say you did nothing wrong. And it's not okay to be on pins and needles all the time on the edge when you don't have to be. Sometimes people try to help you, and sometimes when they help you, you have to also work on yourself to discipline yourself to receive as well. Um, they're not asking of you of sometimes general things, but you want to put a generalized stamp on it. Different things happen with different people. That's what I've come out of all of these realizations with. It's not, if you're not having a conversation and not being truthful in that conversation, and not being truthful in the conversations but manipulative in your actions, it'll be a tough road. It's going to be a challenge to get to know people. You have to learn them, you have to accept them, then you all have to decide whether you're going to grow together or not. And when you made those decisions, you still have to um, deal with and make concessions for all of the things that these people have gone through, that they have. I won't say all of them till this point, because many people are reflective, and they also go to practice um, therapeutic exercises somehow, whether it's talking, watching movies, listening to music, reflecting on themselves and see how what their idea of better and the pinnacle of good for them is. And um, if they have done all of the healing that's reasonably done before you, um, they come to you or you all meet, there still are differences that you all have on the table to deal with, and they will not go away. So it's good to lean into the love and loving unconditionally, because no matter how much you pour and you give, there's still going to be that person to some degree, and they are going to make concessions for you in order to make things remain in harmony. And I think that is the greatest thing that you can actually do as a person in life and in love. Make concessions for each other, and walk together. Don't let anybody's thing on the outside control what you do inside, because you all have a bond that should not be shared and exploited to everyone, because everybody won't know how to handle your person. And I talked about that in one of my different discussions about planning and seeking a non-biased therapist. If you are a person that's always attracted to everything just because it's the opposite sex, go to someone that is not attractive. Together, you all decide. If both of you all are that way, go to someone that's not attractive, and realize if they're being biased, you take accountability for what you actually did, not for what they said that they believed they understood that you told them. But what actually happened? If it wasn't all the way there and you don't tell the truth, then you won't get the complete healing, and it will not be fair with the people in time. What I'm saying through all of this also is that no one is perfect. So as close to all of those check boxes you can get in these situations is what you can do, and not be lax on them because you're tired. But it comes a point in time where both of you all need just to have a day of relaxation. You need to have some time just to reflect on all of the good and the loving things and how you're going to build more. And the good things in the relationship should outweigh the bad things to some degree, especially if it's reasonable and it's within your complete autonomy to do so. That's one of the significant goals in the situation. So, yeah. But back to holidays, people feel some sort of way about holidays. Valentine's Day is considered as an explicitly romantic holiday, and it focuses on expressing love and affection through gifts and cards, and all kind of candies and special dates and um, sayings, and just expressions of affection and love on that day. And the day itself, where it originated, it kind of has a mix of horror, to tell you the truth. But each time we submit ourselves to do things in these holidays, we are practicing with whomever was the originator to some degree. Um, some people's love styles, like mine, sometimes is gifts. I love gifts, but I know that it's not the only thing. Sometimes gifts can be what the person knows that I need or I want in that moment in time, and not necessarily something that's going to break the whole household's budget and everything is falls through the ground. But yeah, thoughtfulness, being kind in your giving, not giving it to manipulate to get somewhere else, but just make a thoughtful expression. If you know the things that a person likes, they love, give it to them if you have it to give. But the more that I've seen people refrain from giving in their relationships, they spend like 20 times more, three, four, 5 times more outside of the household. And it keeps them going in a cycle of angry. And they are the ones that making themselves angry. If you have a loving household, they're going to be attentive to the budget. They're not going to always say, we need to be penny picking, or we can get some quality name brands and things like that, brands that we subscribe to that are quality to us, things that we do like, those types of things, luxurious things, but it doesn't necessarily have to be um, um, it doesn't have to be at all something to compete with the Joneses for all of the time. And something that's with some type of facetious nature behind it. You really don't want to give it, but you give it to them. So you said you wanted this, so I'm going to do exactly what you said you wanted, even though you know you really don't want this, but I'm going to make fun of you, but I'm going to give you a gift at the same time. Those types of things. You have a mate that don't really like surprises, but for your own self gratification, you didn't discuss this with a person that you are love surprises. And but the person don't really like surprises, and you surprise them, and they love the gift, and they didn't like the surprise nature of it all. So those types of things kind of it keeps things going in a negative way. And it's impossible for somebody to say that, they expect 100% good everything when they're operating like that. If you're being manipulative, evasive, angry, hangry, you haven't explained why you do or did something, and you just expect your person to know it, but you make a public announcement for somebody who doesn't even deserve it. Well, first of all, this is why I did so I don't want you to think I'm keeping it 100 or whatever. But then when it comes to your mate, oh, leave me alone. When I come home, I'm supposed to have peace. I'm supposed to be the king and the queen of the household. But every time you come to the household, you're saying negative things. You never celebrate or praise anybody. You're mad because the reasonable aspects of the honeydew list have been done, but you want something extraordinary because of whatever reason at all. Or someone is taking you for granted. They love you, but they go and do things for other people just in your face. But and they don't tell you, but they want to make you jealous, or they want to make you angry. They want to make you mad because they're mad that they're angry that you don't feel a certain way about something, or you don't express it the same way they do. So they want to get a rise out of you. Instead of have a conversation, nurture the heart. And I'm telling you, if you're realistic in a conversation, in a relationship, in a friendship, that person is going to get you in some way. I don't call myself a bad bee at all. And here's why: because I still think that bitch is referring to a dirty, mangy female dog. With men, women sometimes call men dogs, but they're not talking about a mange dog. I'm not accepting that. If a man refers to me, think that that's what he should call all women, I'm not for that man at all. Um, a queen, a boss lady, and not a bossy lady. I can be bossy in discipline situations that are directly impacting me. But to hurt someone with my actions or make them angry on purpose is not something that makes a person good. So if you want a bad bee, sometimes they don't understand how many levels they want to go in bad, and you don't know how many levels they're taking. Some people, with many of these words, they're skewed. So people can go either way, and they can tell you you're crazy for thinking that they even did what they did, because bad means this today and bad means that tomorrow and bad means this at any time I want to mix it up. So how are you going to say I did what I did? Type of deal. Those types of things. Devil is the author of confusion. If you're going through stuff like that, it's not goodness working in your relationship. Pause, reflect, and regroup and see where you actually need to be. I um I don't believe that anyone wants to come home and do everything, you know, that they did all day long, which is if it was a bad day, they don't want that in their home. But at the same time, even when you don't feel so well, you still have to make concessions for your loved one. Excuse me. Um, you have to make concessions for your loved one somehow. And here's how. Well, here's what I'm talking about. I hope everyone can hear me because I'm trying my new microphone. I really don't like the headset. And on my microphones, I have to get a different one, I think. I had an audio microphone. I had an audio, like the whole music, um, what do you call it? The soundboard for a while, but I have not reconnected to my computers because I've been switching them up. So I've had it for about 5 years and it's like brand new. But interchangeably, I've been around some people that took some of the parts and I have to um, probably get some more parts. Did I say that with a smile? Because it wasn't funny. But anyway, what is good is that we live to see another day, and that if you want to make a change, go ahead and make a change and stick to it, and love will attach itself to you. Um, I was listening to a pastor the other day. I don't know if he was a pastor. Was he a pastor? He wasn't a pastor. He was just a person that was preaching the gospel as far as the relationships goes, honey. And why do I say that? It's because there are a lot of men and women that know exactly what is required out of a good, loving relationship, and especially the ones that they want to have. But they decide whether or not they want to, um, they decide whether or not they actually want to follow the protocol or to follow, what's really going to make them successful in that arena. Okay, so yeah. This person said, what did he say? Let me get my train of thought back. He said. Oh, he said. Oh my goodness. I can't remember it right now. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. What did this guy say? Oh, here's a disclaimer. I did not try to rip my person away from their family members and their friends. But everybody knows that there might be some, when there is a new person somewhere, it's a change of dynamics that happens, and especially in relationships that come as like priority relationships. Here's the thing. If your male friends and you're men, because I only know what men do towards females, because and not all men, but some situations with me, some I have a mix. I'm talking about a mix of things that happen in general. So I'm going to talk about it in general and probably popular scenario or nuance, so to speak, as relates to friendships and getting into a relationship. So when men get into a relationship, sometimes they have a set uh, of male friends who want them to still hang out with them and be with them at the same capacity before a relationship. It's impossible. If I believe, well, let me continue so I can tell you what this person said. So he was saying it's just some single friends that you cannot hang out with when you are in a relationship. And here's why. Listen at their conversations. Their conversations are the same before you same as they were when you were single. Why? Because they're still single and that's their life and they're in that mindset. And what do? They usually propel everyone in that situation into lustful atmospheres or lustful environments or something like that, if that is the conversation. There are male friends who know how to interact with each other and they try to help each other, but it's always someone that cannot determine their conversation, and they're always trying to get you to stand in and shield them from things that's happening in their other relationships. For instance, you tell your wife or significant other you're going somewhere and to be with your male friend, but you send your male friend to a location where the other female that you're going to meet up with is located, so that you could go and technically see your friend, but you have double duty because you're going to make time to probably inappropriately entertain this lady as well. So if you know that's happening, love your friend. They're so great to you. You've been to so many different things, but do express to them that you have to change the dynamics. And sometimes when people heal in that way, everybody in the group starts to explore having a oneness in a relationship with someone. You are not cheating yourself by being with someone and going through these range of emotions, because you will experience this exponentially for every person that you envision. Even if you take a few days to be with someone, that's time spent and dedication and input that's spent. So why do the same thing 1,000 times than to do it with one person in an experience? There are going to be some changes and challenges that come unexpectedly, and you all can learn how strong your bond is and how much you can prevail and work together and help each other. How deep is your love? If you go through these situations and learn how to exercise all of the tools that you've put together as risk management plan of action to cultivate and develop and heighten your relationship with the person. On the same token, it will happen the same way with a single person. So if you have a single person and you're doing more of the single activities, you're probably going to wind up single too. And the fight is usually, oh, they didn't want me to go anywhere. I've been going out before I met them. I've been doing this before I met them. So why they expect me to do something different? Because you recognize there's a change. The reason it's a change, and it's another thing that's more important than doing the single activities anymore, because you are with a significant other, not with the singleness anymore. So there's a change. And Lady Stewart too. You can't hang out with your friends anymore. He's telling you what to do. We have had the feminist movement. He can't tell me what to do and la. And then what's next? Cut to the next scene. What, a few minutes later. Wind up, it's the two ladies spending time alone. And then they start doing things on each, winding and grinding on each other, but they don't realize they just cut somebody out of the picture by pretending that they were single, playing single while in a relationship. So sometimes it's not the other person. Sometimes it's not the other person. And sometimes when people end up single, it's not because they deserve something that a person did wrong to them. Sometimes a person can be foolish. I've had persons that were in my life that was my ex always apologized. They apologized, and I don't call some of them my ex because they never represented themselves as the original person initially. So I was dating whoever, a phantom person that never existed, and they were just like something entirely different. But um, yeah, so it usually happens, even though it's kind of bitter pill to swallow. Wherever you spend all of your time, if you act like it's no changes being made, there won't be a change made. And I take that to heart with myself. I do self-reflective things. When I have these discussions, it's not because of judgment. Sometimes the messenger has a hard message or a difficult message or a message that no one else is saying. And it's not because they're deliberately delivering it to you. It's because this is the time, the space, the moment that it comes out and be revealed from that person. Sometimes it's not me throwing shade and dirt and mud and all that sort of stuff. It's in your heart and you have to speak it. So sometimes when we diffuse that too, well, they're talking about me. Now, I was this person, so this, no, but the exchange that you had could help make them think about some generalizations and thoughts that are taking place in their mind. And then it's like, well, this is the time and the phase and the age where sometimes these things take place. So I believe that anybody who wants to have a good relationship actually can. And good doesn't mean that it's going to feel good and great every day, but sometimes some people can experience that because they have decided to go beyond the thresholds that people have set for us and explore something deeper by always working on being truthful and not always exploiting your mate. You talk about something, you get angry, you know it's embarrassing, you talk about it to everybody just because you're angry. Those types of things. You're not um, caretaking that person's heart and their emotions and their feelings. And sometimes people have mean exteriors or behaviors towards people they want to be on a team with because they're projecting something inwardly they haven't really hashed out that they felt for someone else. Because, if you meet someone initially, they haven't done anything to you, and you come out of yourself sideways about something, just it's because you're trying to put on a protective shield. You're telling them this is my disclaimer. This is not going to happen to me. Um, so there was this bishop, I believe was his name. What's his name? R.C. Blakes, and he was talking about people used to call him a simp when he was doing everything for his wife and stuff like this. He was doing all the things that he said he was going to do. He's going to take care of his household. When she started to earn money, he wasn't angry from it, but he about it, and he wasn't competing with her. But he also had a placement for her money that it belonged to her. And a loving wife is going to, if she sees trouble, she's going to try to blend them in where she can. So I'm a loving relationship that's built and cultivated. You don't have to worry about that. You don't. But the nature of us, the nature of the mean spirit and this that's been going on out here makes people think they have to have a tug of war all of the time, and it's a power trip. But nobody really wants to be the power source in it. They want both people to join their mighty powers together, but they haven't explored exactly what those powers look like, and they're just mimicking what the Joneses is supposed to be. Now, if all of these talks, these things that I'm saying, they could make me so phenomenally, blissfully wealthy. They do. They're wealth and health to my bones because when I remind myself of that, I know that's succinctly what I want and need in my life is love, real love, and I know how I want to get there. I know what I believe it looks like, and I know that I have to make concessions for the next person that is going to be significant in my life. And we can do that without hurting each other. So I don't have everything. I don't know everything. I will not ever know everything. I know that for sure. Even a rocket scientist wouldn't know what scaffolding is if he's not using that terminology in some way in the rocket science of things. People say that rocket science. You don't have to be a scientist because they believe it takes so much um, um, intelligence to be a rocket scientist. So, oh my goodness, I hope that this blessed you and didn't stress you. I really do. Because there's no judgment here. This is me talking about things that are in my life, my thoughts, my perceptions, about other experiences as well, things that actually did happen, factual information, maybe movies and music and all of that. But listen to some good music with you. So let's talk about the positive effects of bonding. And even if it's on a holiday, time off work, it allows couples to spend quality time together, strengthening their bond and sharing memories. Participating in some traditions can enhance a sense of unity with continuity in relationships. So it's just something that you routinely are going to continue to do. I think love should be a routine. It should be a holiday love, learning how to love, bowing to the ability to love. Don't be afraid to be in love with someone because if you're in love with someone and you don't tell them, you tell somebody else, the only person that's going to know is somebody else that you told, you know? So, I have met a person and really have really liked them on sight. And it was a deeper connection. But at the same time, I realized that we both have decisions to make in the situation and that we have to make concessions somehow that are reasonable and respectful in order to continue on in a relationship. So sometimes people have met the person that's supposed to be in their lives, but they've decided that it's too hard, too much work, and they don't want to feel like a fool or invest in what is required into making a relationship. It is work. It doesn't have to be dirty work. For instance, what is wrong with saying, "Hi, how are you?" each day, and really wanting to hear what happened that day, and really wanting to be able to mend what happened if you can, not because you feel like that's always what you have to do, but if you can do it, and seeing that person as an individual too, and saying, I want you to be the best individual in love with me, that type of thing. It's because we do many things routinely. We even brag about our disciplines and our routines. Let's start having a routine love holidays. Make our own. Those sentiments that happen in your relationship, use that to commemorate different times. Decide where you're going to place that on your calendar and make some new loving situations that you unapologetically do. I had a discussion on here about unapologetically so. I'm unapologetically me. Meaning, despite all of the things that are unnecessary about me, because everybody has those called flaws, the things that I have a loving heart, I am pliable for love, my heart is pliable for love. I do not judge somebody by what the other person did. But if I do see repeat tendencies, I may question them to find out what is the definition behind what is actually taking place in order so I can rule that out. But to know, understand that my person, is going to be an individual who has so many circumstances and healing processes and life and love that's been lived before we even met each other. And we are embarking upon something new together. And we need to be strong, vigilant, and stick to itiveness in our vows and our loyalty and respect for each other so that we can make a beautiful situation on earth. You don't have to die and get to heaven to have a good situation on earth, to live in abundance, to have a magical, beautiful, wonderful, blissful relationship. Is your decision. Yes, let's make this love simulation happen. Unconditional love. Because you can love somebody no matter what they do, but we know when it has to be reasonable changes. We know when it has to be reasonable changes. Oh, I'm getting a little sleepy. Don't want to go to sleep. I don't have a chance to because when I say I'm sleepy, I wind up doing something else. And anyway, I have to go pick up the son in a few minutes. So I'm just getting myself prepared. I have a little chatter going on because I always have something in the works, some answers that I'm looking forward to and interactively following up on. But it's some wait time involved. And thank God for the wait time because I really hope that this blessed you. So let me tell you, even if somebody goes and collect another body to try to make it compete with yours, somebody loves you, baby. Somebody loves you, baby. Whoa, whoa, somebody loves you, baby. Ooh, ooh. Somebody loves you. Somebody loves you. They might have put you in a situation of competition because they can't forget you, baby. They have you on their mind so strong, they got to make you feel some sort of way about this movement because they want you to know. And sometimes you do feel like you know because it hurts a little bit. It's a little twinge of pain, but you have to put yourself in a different mind frame. That person has their life to live and their decisions to make. If they continuously try to do things to deliberately hurt you, that wasn't your person because they have decided to use their time to do manipulative tactics to hurt you instead of taking on a hard task, sometimes hard task of love. And many people tell us it's hard because, oh, I have to do it. I'm not doing this until that happens. And some of it is reasonable. Money is good okay, this is where I think money gets misconstrued, and sometimes. Um, when there's a exchange for money for a body, for a person's body to interact, not just the body to stand there and do what money does. Money is an inanimate object. So money can buy things for this person, but it cannot do the things that the person do. That's why you want money and the person. So uh, we need to have a good relationship with money too, and how it is changing, and how some people are psychologically abusive with leading people by the nose because they know they need the funds. They feel like they need the funds, so they're going to be the one to puppeteer them, even though they probably could go elsewhere. Somebody is taking stock and time to wait for you. It could be 1,000 people, but it's you. So why not give to the you that's in front of you instead of or help or love that you can. Take some money and pay the bill that needs to be paid so you can help advertise for the person, help to build up their brand if you can, some type of way or something like that. Do what you can do and be, if it's reasonable. Um, Also, there are many people who play games out here, so everybody is not on the same playing field. But if you have a thorough conversation and you trust that person, don't let anything stop you from pouring into your love as you would love to. Now, I'm a gift. I love gifts. I haven't been in a situation where the guy that I'm with love gifts and feel like it's their love style, but I know what was required of me to give them sometimes just a loving discussion, loving, um, truthful, not saying I love you because I want to manipulate you to do something, but genuinely just come to me as a safe space, to get a massage, to get a good meal, to have something given to you from loving hands, a person with love in their heart. And if I was a billionaire, of course, I buy him a car. I buy us things that we want. We could splurge and get all the things that we do need. But I'm a dainty lady at heart, so you know, I do. I like gifts. I don't judge people by what they can give, but I do know that somebody is just means you just to show you that hey, you ain't got me like that. I don't know that unless I know their pockets. But other than that, that's just a spin off of whatever else you just said. But yeah, there's so many things to be concerned with. Do as much due diligence as you can before you go ahead and sign yourself up for a lifetime. It will be more labor than a labor of love if you hate all the things that come along with it. So if you hate what it takes to be in love, or what it takes to take care of love, cultivate and develop love, and make it stronger, edify it, you're not ready for a relationship because you're going to be angry every day, and it's going to just be a spirit of anger. It's not going to be you actually succinctly mad at or angry at one thing. It's just going to be a mindset that you made that always the wheels are always turning. Something's always churning inside of you because you hate the things that accompany being married. I know one thing. I had this is a situation. So if you have a person that's a frivolous spender that just hate don't even want to do budget because they think budget makes them feel cheap. But the whole country is on a budget that they're doing bad on. Why do you feel bad because you have budget in your household? That doesn't mean that you have to buy things cheaper, way 10,000 times cheaper than you can afford. It just means that you have money in the right placement, money on reserve for emergencies, money to pay all of the essential bills, and money to enjoy when you want to, money for emergencies as well. It doesn't mean that you have to just get penny shaped things all of the time. It just means that you have a smarts for what's going to be healthy for your financially healthy for your household. Um, and that doesn't mean one spouse is hiding money so they can go treat another person of the opposite sex and cheat on them. That's not cool. But it's scary to join um, your bank accounts together with somebody who's frivolous because they don't give a darn what happens to you. All they know is they want to satisfy themselves. So I'm talking about normal situations. I'm not trying to talking about um, normal general relationships. Meaning both people will desire to be healthy financially. They might be on the way. They might be already there, but they are respectful of what their budget entails and what they have to adhere to follow the budget and make life peaceful and comfortable for themselves. But someone who's spending wildly, taking the girls and getting the black card when you've already said something has happened. Maybe you had someone cheat you in your company, and now you have to deal with some debts a little more up close than you had to originally because there's some funds lacking. Not just saying, I'm going to force myself to take this black card because this is what the girls expect me to do. This is what my family expects me to do. That's one of the times that you have to say, my household comes first. The happiness and the well-being of my man, my lady, it comes first. And everything will be okay after we, with God, has decided what our plan of action is going for, because he wants us to help people. He wants us to be kind and loving and all of that, and we want to do that anyway. Innately, that's what people gravitate towards. They gravitate towards where the love and the comfort is. But sometimes we can suck up some things that are not. For instance, if you're getting compliments all the time and you know you're not where you're supposed to be, and you know people are just saying it because they don't want to hurt you or offend you, because you the price uh, maker, this is a time where you need to discipline yourself and say, "Oh, I really appreciate you guys, but I know I still have things to work on. But in this regard, thank you so much." You know, because yeah, so. Love, light, and life to you all. Peace and blessings. In the grand scheme of finding love and mixing it up, it's okay to take a chance. Even today, it is. We don't know what our lifespan is, but I think it would feel so much better to be in a mind frame, emotional state that says, right now, right here, I love and I'm giving for the right reasons and I'm holding on for the right reasons and I'm building for the right reasons and I'm working for the right reasons. And no matter here on this earth or afterwards, I know some goodness is going to be given back to me, you know? So have an amazing day. See you later. Remember that you cannot be duplicated. There's a purpose that God has planned for you to serve on this life, in this life, and on this planet that only you can serve. You can be imitated, but not duplicated, honey. Haunted. Well, not duplicated, sir, Mr. King, Queen, Princess, daughter. You know, is that you cannot be duplicated at all. No, you can be imitated, but not duplicated. They might try to find someone like you, but something is going to be missing. And who is that? I that was in the team, huh? But listen, um, it doesn't matter if anything or anyone was ever lived. They were expired or they were reincarnated, and reincarnation were ever a thing. They could never be you nor serve the purpose that God has for you to serve. Of course, people can get someone else to do the job, but they can't get nobody to do the job with the innate qualities that you have been given by the Lord. That's just what it is. So this is a big um, this is my mantra. And this is a reason why there's no room for jealousy and envy. All you might be envy or jealousy, experiencing jealousy or emitting jealousy about, is because someone decided that they was going to like somebody better than you. They were going to like somebody more than you. They were going to pour on some, but that's individually what they decided to do more. It doesn't mean that it's not more people out there or someone else who will love you. You have to just take a chance to see if that's the love that's supposed to be in your life, or you want in your life, or you're going to fake it till you make it. And if it breaks, you don't care that it's broken. And that's not a life I want to live. So God bless you. See ya.